Hey everybody, it's Angela and I am back with another process video, and I have a few new to me items. One is this chipboard pack by Project Life, and the other are these Kelly Perky stamps. They're kind of fail stamps, and so I wind up not using them for this layout. And then also this wonderful vegetable die cut set. So I got those three at Tuesday morning, and so that really inspired me to have fun and get into the scrap room because I haven't really bought much new stuff lately. So these are two old collection packs. One is homegrown and the other is made from scratch. And I've had these for a long time. As you can see, I've cut around in them pretty heavily. So heavily that the burlap paper I wanted to use as the background was gone from this pack, and so I'm going to use the carrot paper I pulled to the side. And then I also want to die cut some carrots using that new die cut set, and I needed some orange and green to do that with. And since I had the 6x6 made from scratch paper pad that had some green and orange in it, I thought I'd use that for my die cuts. But now I need something for the background. And so I have this Recollections like brick and wood, kind of a basic set that I got. I think it was like a hot buy. And it doesn't have burlap in it, but I thought it would have something nice and simple for the background. And I'm looking for something that's going to match that carrot paper I want to use. And so I find a really nice whitewashed wood grain. So that's what I'm going to use for the background, and I really love that paper. It's really pretty. Now the carrot paper wasn't a full 12 by 12 sheet, so I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to use it. I thought about doing a stripe at the top or doing half of it, like half and half like that, or doing half and half with the carrots at the top or the bottom. So I have no idea what I'm doing, but I have to work with that partial sheet. So I decide to do a triangle piece because, this is getting pretty themey with all this carrot stuff here. And so I don't want to go overboard, but I do want to have fun playing with, all my carrot stuff. So I'm just going to do a triangle of the carrots at the top. And then the back of this paper has a pretty green color, so I'm going to use that as well. Now the two pictures that I have are, one is me holding some really big carrots from the garden last year, and my carrots this year, actually some of them are even bigger, which isn't necessarily a good thing because they'll kind of start getting too woody, but these ones were still really good. And last year was the first year I had root cellared them. I'd read about it a lot, and I root cellar a lot of other things. I root cellar potatoes, onions, garlic, and squash. So I wanted to go ahead and try carrots so that if I run out of time and can't freeze or can the carrots, at least I'd be able to have some of them available through the winter if I have them in the root cellar. So I didn't have any sand, so I went down to our creek. It has kind of a sandy shore, and I had a screen that we use for screening out really fine soil for planting beds. And so I screened out a whole bunch of sand, and then I layered moist sand and then a layer of carrots. And then I covered those with sand and did another layer of carrots and then a layer of sand and a layer of carrots. And then I just kept a spray bottle near them and would spray it every time I'd get carrots out. I'd kind of spray the sand to keep it moist. And those carrots stayed good all the way up to like February. They were still crispy. You could still use them as carrot sticks and dip and stuff. It wasn't till a little after that they started getting somewhat rubbery and were only good for soups and stuff. But yeah, it worked great. So I'm going to do it again this year. And I've already canned jalapenos. I've got canned salsa. I canned a lot of black beans and red beans. And I've frozen celery and potatoes and peppers and all that kind of good stuff. So we're doing pretty good on getting the um, food and stuff put by this year. And here I'm taking some of the green and orange, and that's what I'm going to use to die cut that carrot. But I liked the top on the beet next to it, so I am going to cut some tops out of that using that beet die and layer it on top of the carrots just to make the carrot tops a little more three-dimensional and fuller. So you'll kind of see here after I get it die cut. And these are actually, these dies are like, you can die cut and emboss with these. So here I'm taking that off, and then on the carrot you can see there's some little holes there, and you can push some ink through those holes to get, you know, just a little bit more design on your carrot top here, just a little more intricacy. So I thought I'd give it a try because that's kind of what those are for. But because I was layering the beet top on top, I didn't really need to do that. I think I only do it on the one because I realized, well, you know, I'm going to go ahead and put that other on top of it. But that's what those holes are kind of for. You can emboss or use them as a ink stencil and stuff like that. So there I am just going to go ahead and layer, and there I'm putting the top for the beets over my carrot top, and I like that. It makes it a little more 3D and a little fuller. So I think they turn out really cute. I make 3 of them. At first I think I'm only going to use 2, but I do wind up using the third one here in a little bit. So there we go. And that's about all I had design-wise at this point, but I wanted to bring some of that orange paper from the carrots and some of that dark green from the Made from Scratch collection pad into my layout a little more, so I decided to use those 2 colors to map my photos. So that's the dark orange that I use for the dark orange carrot, and then this is the dark green. So it was really fun to get back into the scrap room. I was so inspired by getting those couple new supplies. I haven't been doing much shopping at all. My husband and I are each kind of working 2 jobs right now, so it doesn't leave much time. So it was a lot of fun to get back in the scrap room and just have a good play. So there we go. And I love Tuesday morning. I mean, that's pretty much the only place I do any kind of crafty shopping, just because the prices are so good. I can go in there. I usually limit myself to only spend like $10. But the neat thing is that you can actually get some things for $10 at Tuesday morning. And you can get actually pretty new collections that, you know, aren't even, that never even come to like Michael's and stuff. So yeah, so I love shopping there. It was so fun to get a couple new things. So there I am kind of fussing around with this title and these 2 carrots. So that's pretty much where the title's going to be. And I really like the dark, it's kind of not black, it's kind of charcoaly colored, and it kind of brings out some of the darker tones in the photographs. So in this, I'm looking at what I've got now, and I'm like, man, you know, it kind of, the whole design needs to come down farther on the page. So I wasn't sure how I was going to do that. I was looking for some kind of a journaling tag or something like that to put underneath that whole photo cluster to kind of bring it down, and I just couldn't really find anything. So, you know, I love my die cuts. I use my cutting dies all the time. So I went to my stash of dies and found a doily die that I could use. I didn't want anything too intricate because that would look too elegant and fussy. I found a die cut that was really a simple doily that looked more country to me and not fussy. And you'll see it here in a minute. There we go. It just kind of has that slight little lacy edge, but otherwise it's solid. And I thought I could use that for my journaling spot. And it just helps bring that whole design cluster farther down into the layout. And I'm looking at these stamps, and there were a few I could use, but they're more fail stamps and stuff like that. And this wasn't a fail, this was a win. So I thought I'd use the fail stamps for some of the other things on the farm. So I decided to just go into these Project Life chipboard pieces, and they had also some kind of charcoaly black colored items that really matched well with that title. So that just kind of helped pull more of that color into the layout. So I'm just trying to figure out placement on that, but it still needed a little more color. So I went back to the homegrown sticker sheet, and I found this flower sticker. And so I go ahead and I cut that in half, and I put some of it down below. I didn't want everything to get too monochromatic of just orange and green. So by bringing in this black and then bringing in the teal and yellow in those flowers just kind of helps put a little more life and color into the layout. So I'm liking how it's going. And I moved the chipboard pieces so there'd be like kind of a triangle of 3 of them around the page. And here's where I decide to bring in that third carrot that I had made, and instead of putting it on top of the photo, I decided to kind of just nest it below the photo. You can still tell what it is, but you know, it's a little more subtle in there. So since I don't really have anything glued down yet, or very much, I decided to go ahead and get some glue under things. And these chipboard pieces, even though they're new to me, Tuesday morning, you know, gets older stock in, so they were already losing their sticky by the time I got them. So just making sure to put some adhesive under everything. So I'm really liking that. And then what I'm going to do is, for my journaling, is I usually use a pencil to kind of draw my lines, and then I also use a pencil to write out my journaling, and then I go over it with pen and erase the pencil. So I write the lines, I write my journaling in pencil, then I take a really like a micron or a fine tip pen and write over the top of my pencil. And then I erase the pencil, and that's what's left. So that way it gives me a chance to make sure all my wording's going to fit. Now I still needed something else to kind of pull down on that layout, and so I wanted some more flowers, and since there was only one of those big flower clusters, I thought I would go ahead and cut this one off. But it has a touch of bright blue that just doesn't look right there. So then I look through the papers thinking maybe there's a floral that matches that I could fussy cut, but I couldn't find anything like that. And then I found a small cluster on one of the other sticker sheets that's the same thing, this one here. And so I'm just going to go ahead. I would have liked that it had been bigger, but I'm just going to go ahead and place that, which kind of pulls your eye down. And then I thought I'd use some mist and put some sprinkles below that to just kind of help kind of center the cluster on the page. So I'm just going to put some bigger droplets at the bottom. And then that is going to be my finished layout. So thank you guys so much for watching, and it was so great to get back into the scrap room and, you know, just have some fun and be able to put a video out there and kind of connect with you guys again. So here are the close-ups. There I am with my huge carrots, and then that's the tub of carrots, one layer of carrots in sand there. And then you can see the droplets kind of just go down from that central cluster. And that is it. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or anything, just leave me a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye.